Ugh. Oh man, I've done this so long ago, I don't really remember. A great little trick. I don't know, I'm hot. I'm hot in this jacket, so I'm done. Hello and welcome back to another episode. So today's gonna be just a little bit different. I'm gonna kind of just walk you through some past window display that I did. I actually did it for a little boutique called Gino Boutique. It's in downtown Franklin, and I've been doing their windows. And so this is sort of the last window that I've done for them. The theme was tassels, and so I made a bunch of tassels. So here are some of the tassels that I did have that are left over. I start out by first working with the boutique and kind of choosing a concept and then color. So I go to the store and I took pictures of tons of yarn and kind of these were the color choices that we were thinking. So I usually have to figure out what the idea is, what the plan is, what the cost is before I send the proposal over to the boutique. And then I create a mock-up. And so this is the mock-up that I sent over for their windows. So all the window displays that I do, I always measure the windows. That way I can mock it up at home and know the dimensions. After the mock-up is approved, then I kind of get started. Let me go ahead and show you how I made the tassels. So as you know, this is the only yarn I have left. So this is the color of tassel we're gonna make. I took some cardboard. Depending on how big you want the tassel, that's how thick the cardboard should be. So if I'm gonna make it the same as this, I want it to be about this long. I'm gonna just kind of cut here. It doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, so I cut my cardboard. I'm gonna have the black string be the hanging string, and then the brown one will be the tassel. So I start by taking the black and I kind of just drape it on the top. So what I did is I did all this to minimize the amount of cuts. So to do that, if you're gonna make bulk of these, is I kind of just make sure everything's the right length so that we have to cut as little as possible. And then for these, I actually wrapped these 40 times. So 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so 40. And then I cut along the bottom. And then I cut another one around the length. And if you're doing these in bulk, you can just go ahead and cut all of your ones that are gonna be this length. So what I would do is I would take the string that's wrapped inside, kind of pull it to the top of the cardboard, and then I'm going to tie my knot. I cut the top tail, and then I cut the bottom, and then I want to keep it together, and I'm gonna go ahead and lay it right on top of my other string. Then I take this string and I tie it up. And then if you cut your string to the right length, you won't have to do any trimming. If you want to go back and trim all the bottoms, you certainly can. And then you'll cut this sort of to the length that you're wanting. So I'll just cut it here. And this is a string that you could pre-cut as well if you're wanting to mass produce them. Then you've got a little tassel. When you're cutting string repetitively, so you would want to find something about the length that you're wanting, wrap it and then cut it. Same with these strings. I made these ones about 6 feet long because that's about how tall the ceilings are for the windows. I actually turned one of our tables upside down and used the legs and just spun around the legs. So it's sort of like this, and then you string the yarn and you cut it off. What I did is I would clip all of them individually with one of these binder clips. And so I had hundreds of these binder clips. I already had hundreds to start with, and then I had to go buy a couple hundred more. They kind of took over the entire living room. I used about 2 rolls of yarn for each color. So I think each roll of yarn made about 22 tassels. So how many is that? Maybe 300. I think I had around 300. I don't know, I'll do the math. Then put them all in a box, their own color. And I brought them all to the store and kind of take over the store for the day. And so how I actually hung the tassels up is I used some beads like this and I just strung them on some twine. And so I actually put them up behind the window with these beads. So that way, when I put the tassels on, I would tie a tassel between each bead. It would keep the same spacing and also keep them from tangling too much. And it would also just have a nice look on the back, so that way I'm not just taping them to the wall or something like that. It's a little trick. If you're wanting to do tassels and hang them evenly like a backdrop or something, you could just throw this up in the back and then tie your tassels from each bead. This is a picture of the progress. I knew I needed to add a little bit more in this region just because of the sharp up curve. I was gonna have to add more. And so I usually will do a little bit, look at it, okay, well, how's it looking, go back, and keep going back and forth, inside and outside. Since I had my mock-up, I knew exactly sort of my composition, and that really helped smooth the process. I clearly take way too many photos, but it's always good to have lots of photos. So I take pictures from the back, take pictures of the front, give some close-ups, some different angles. I'm trying to remember how long it took me. I know install, I was there from 9 to 4, 9 to 5. So it's about a good 7-8 hours just to install them. And then making them, I made them all week, but I had 2 full days that all I did was just make tassels. So they definitely took quite a while to make, but as you can see, I think it's clearly worth it. So yeah, so this is one of the windows that I've done in the past. It's a very versatile thing that you could do in your house. People do them as mobiles, or they'll do them in a circle, or you can put them on a wall, a backdrop, or you can put them on the end of your pillows. That's a big thing, or the end of a blanket. So tassels are a real versatile thing that I think is really fun to make. Hope you enjoyed this video and hope that you found it somewhat interesting. Let me know if you like it, and I have more windows that I've done that I can show you kind of the process of what I did. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Am I done? I don't even know what I said.